So now we're going to be talking about keyword research. And about keyword research, I can say that every successful, every powerful SEO strategy starts with one essential step, and that is keyword research. And this is where you uncover the exact words and phrases your audience types into Google or Bing or even generative engines. And it's how you make sure your content shows up right when they're searching for what you offer. So let's talk about an example. So, for example, you're selling fitness equipment, and your audience might search for things like, best home treadmill under $500, how to set up a home gym, dumbbell workout for beginners. So that is the kind of content our audience would look for on a search engine. And so each of these phrases gives you a direct window into what your audience wants, what is their intent, and where they're ready to learn, where they want to buy, when they want to compare. So all of these keywords, phrases that I just said, like all of them had an intent hidden behind them, behind search. It could be to learn something about that domain. It could be to buy something in that domain, or it could be to compare and things like that. So let's talk about the steps that go into a keyword research. So we're going to be starting with brainstorming. So start by brainstorming broad topics related to your niche. Think like your customer. What would you search for if you wanted your product or service? Or fitness business topics might include home workouts, exercise equipment, fitness motivation, nutrition and recovery. So these are the broad topics which could become seed ideas for deeper keyword exploration. So once you kind of come up with the main topics that are related to your niche, so then you can get into keyword research tools. So we're not going to be covering or explaining the research tools in depth in this video. We're going to be covering them in depth in the later videos, kind of like tutorials for those tools. But right now, I'm just going to be telling you and introducing those tools to you, and we're going to be explaining the entire keyword research process in the video. So, like the top tools are, one is the go-to tool will be the Google Keyword Planner. So that is great for search volume data, looking at search volume data for various keywords. And there's SEMrush, which shows competition, keyword difficulty, and related topics. So it could also analyze whole websites for the keywords that they're ranking for, and it could suggest how to optimize performance and how to boost performance and stuff. SEMrush also offers some free certifications for SEO optimizations as well, which I've done and which are really insightful. Then there's Ubersuggest. So that is perfect for beginners, which are kind of which want to see keyword trends and content ideas. And so now they've included a lot more tools for generative engine optimization as well, and they can give you you can put a theme in there, and they will generate more content based on the intent of the user and things like that. So these three tools are really great for keyword research. So the step three would be to analyze the data. So look for keywords that check three boxes. So high search volume, like the keywords that you're choosing based on your research on the tools that I mentioned. So they will help you to know, like, if there's a particular keyword that you're looking for or you're looking into, like how many users are searching for it every month? How many search queries are being made for that keyword every month? So the higher the search queries, the higher number of searches for that keyword a month, that possibly means that there are that many number of people looking for that content, and you could reach that number of people as well. But one aspect about the search volume usually is that keywords typically having very high search volumes are also usually tough to rank for, but that's not always the case. There could be a gold mine keyword which has like very high search volume, and yet it does not have very high competition, like different web pages competing to rank for that keyword yet. So search volume is typically that you would look for while researching those keywords in those tools that I mentioned. Then those tools will tell you about the competition, like how many websites are ranking for that keyword. So the more the website, the more the competition, the lesser the chances of your keyword being featured there. But then there are other factors contributing to your ranking as well. So typically you would want a low to medium competition for your keyword and high. So higher the search volume, lesser the competition, the better, the more chances of ranking for that keyword in the top results in the SERPs. So, and then there would be a strong intent, a strong search intent related to that keyword. So that means that it should match what your audience really wants to do. What if it wants to learn, if it wants to compare, if it wants to buy. For example, the keywords that I mentioned earlier, for example, best home treadmill under $500, that kind of signals an intent to buy, definitely. It could also be an intent to compare various treadmills under that price range. And then if you look at a keyword, a keyword phrase, which would say that how to set up a home gym, that is typically, it's very self-explanatory in its intent. It's being intended to get some information about like how do you set up a home gym, So then you could, if you want to sell something, you could list various products that you're offering in that phrase, in that article which says how to set up a home gym. So if anybody types for that information, there's a high chance that they would also look into setting up a home gym, or they would be setting up a home gym for somebody else. And, listing your products there could lead to sales. So in the marketing funnel, from an awareness perspective for your products, that would be a great article to put your products in. So, so that is like how you kind of understand the intent, search intent behind that keyword. So giving you some more examples, like best adjustable dumbbells for small spaces, that shows buying intent. And then how to build a home gym, again, it shows informational intent. So the step 4 would be to target long tail keywords. So why am I suggesting to target long tail keywords is because, you don't really need to target long tail keywords always. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But so typically there are 3 main categories of keywords. One is short tail keywords. So they are 1 to 2 words. They're very broad. For example, a keyword called treadmill or a keyword called home gym. So, if you just type home gym, so there would be a lot of content which would be having the keyword home gym. So it would be typically more difficult to rank for, and it would, although it would definitely have like a higher search volume per month, uh, but they would be extremely competitive to rank for, and they would be a little vague, but definitely like from an awareness of your brand perspective, like from an awareness stage perspective, they could be great as well if you could manage to rank for the keywords based on the other factors that are related to SEO optimization, such as backlinks and things like that. So then the second kind of keywords based on the length would be 2 to 3 words, which are called medium tail keywords. For example, a folding treadmill, home gym setup. So these are balanced in a way in traffic and competition typically. And these would be really good for the consideration stage of the funnel. If somebody is looking into folding treadmills, want to get information about them, want to buy them, and getting your brand in. And if you are dealing with folding treadmills, so getting your brand awareness generated in that domain, they would be really good to target as well. So when we talk about long tail keywords, these are 3 to 5 words. So these are very conversational. These are like questions that a user would type for, very detailed phrases that a user would type for. So they would be typically having very less traffic, and they would be very easy to rank for, and they would be very conversion centric. They would be targeting the conversion stage of the marketing funnel. So, for example, we talk about like best treadmill for small apartments, or budget dumbbell set for beginners. So these are very long phrases, or even something like, where can I find the best treadmills for small apartments in Vancouver? So this is like the user which is searching for this phrase, for this keyword, has a very high intent to probably buy, go and have a look. So in person at that product. So they would be like typically low search volume, easy to rank for, and having a lot more intent to convert into a buying into a buyer or a participant in that product or experience. So you can also categorize by search intent, categorize keywords by search intent, which we talked about earlier as well, like informational keywords, navigational keywords, transactional keywords, which are intended for buying purposes, and then commercial investigations, like best treadmills under 500. So they could be related to comparing for commercial investigation. So these are the various kinds of keywords, and based on what you are intending to do, if you are planning to generate awareness about your brand, if you're planning to generate keywords which would lead to sales, so you know target those kind of keywords, and then you build content around those kind of keywords. Step 5 would be building your keyword list. So you finally collected and organized your chosen keywords, and then you put them up in a spreadsheet or a content planner, and then you group them by topic, you assign intent, you highlight the ones with the best balance of traffic and opportunity, and then this list becomes your SEO content roadmap. So guiding every blog post, video, and product page that you create. And so this was the whole overview of keyword research. And so, so great SEO begins with keyword research, and it begins with starting to think like your end target segment, your persona that you want to connect with. You start thinking like that, and then you come up with the phrases that or keywords that they would want to search for, and what would be the intent. And I just explained you an overview of the entire process, and I'm going to be talking about the next step in SEO optimization in the next video. See you in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.